So now I would like to present the second speaker, Elad, Mijalevich-Soker. So the title is The Personal Growth During Pregnancy, and please, it's your turn.
Thank you very much. So hello everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. So today I will talk about the positive outcomes that women can experience during pregnancy, and specifically those who conceive through fertility treatments. So it is well known that pregnancy is a challenging period that entails a lot of distress, fears, and other difficulties such as physical pain. All of these can experience much harder among women who conceive through fertility treatments, as they are more vulnerable for distress than those who conceive spontaneously. However, stress during pregnancy can also constitute the opportunity to experience personal growth, which is defined as positive changes just that individual can experience following traumatic event or stressful period. Basically, it is a process in which individuals reconstruct their core beliefs that were disrupted about themselves and the world. And they rebuild these core beliefs, which eventually express by personal growth. As you can see in this slide, personal growth is manifest in 5 main domains, such as personal strengths and more appreciation of life. In the last decades, studies have shown that women experience personal growth in the perinatal period, whereas most of these studies were focused on the postpartum period, and which means that we know very little about personal growth during pregnancy. For what we know is that several aspects contribute to personal growth during that period, such as reappraisal strategies or and maternal fetus, and actually the literature did not present any differences between women who conceive through fertility treatment and those who conceive spontaneously in their personal growth experience. So the theoretical framework of our study was based on Schaeffer and Moore's personal growth model, which posits that the interplay between event-related characteristics and personal resources and internal resources, as well as coping, all of these interplay contribute to or determine the level of growth. Based on that, we examined women's moods of conception, their perceived stress, their cognitive appraisal, and self-mastery to their personal growth experience. Or to make it more clearer, women's modes of conception and perceived stress are the event-related characteristics, and their cognitive appraisal are the coping resource, and self-mastery was considered as the internal resource. So basically, we focused on 3 modes of conception, which is spontaneous. The second one was first-line fertility treatment, such as ovulation, induction, and the third one was in vitro fertilization, which is short IVF, which considered as more complex treatment in which women require to inject themselves on a daily basis, and this, of course, can take years. And the second variables of our study is perceived stress, which in short is an individual subjective experience of stress. The next one was the cognitive appraisal, which is how individuals evaluate stress in terms of the appraisal of challenge, the appraisal of threat, and the appraisal of self-efficacy. And the last variable in our study was self-mastery, which is individual sense of control over life events. So basically, to summarize, we know very little about personal growth experience during pregnancy, and especially when we talk about fertility treatment. So in our study, we examined the contribution of women modes of conception, their perceived stress, along with their cognitive appraisal, and their sense of mastery. This were measured in 2 phases during pregnancy. So this is basically a prospective study. And the first phase was during the first and the second trimester, and the second phase, was measured in the third trimester. And we hypothesized that personal growth experience higher in the second phase than in the first phase. We also expected to see that the 2 fertility treatment groups will show higher level of stress but lower level of self-mastery than the spontaneous group. And we also expected to see that women who apprise the stress during pregnancy as more challenged and less threatening, they will show higher personal growth. And as well, we expected to see that those who apprise that they have more or greater sense of self-efficacy will report it eventually for higher personal growth experience. So basically, women were recruited through fertility specialists and gynecologists from different fertility units in Israel. In the first phase, we recruited 400 women, and in the second, 268. As you can see in this slide, the average age was 32, and about 43% of the sample were already women who are mothers. Women were asked to complete questionnaires such as the post-traumatic growth inventory, the perceived stress scale, the cognitive appraisal scale, and the self-mastery scale. And as for the results, I will present I briefly present the main finding. As you can see, this is a model of regression. So we analyze the data through 2 models of hierarchical regression, one for the first phase and the second. The aim of the second model was to understand how the variables are predicted personal growth in the third trimester. So here is the first phase, and as you can see, the study variable explain about 30% of the variance in personal growth. As you can see, the IVF group experienced higher level of personal growth than the spontaneous group. We see that lower self-mastery was related to higher personal growth, as well as women who evaluate the stress during pregnancies more challenging and less threatening were reported for higher personal growth. This is the second model, and as you can see, women without children eventually experience higher level of growth, and consistently with the first phase, lower self-mastery was also related to personal growth. Only challenge appraisal will predicted personal growth in the third trimester, and as you can see in the bottom of the slide, as we thought, personal growth in the second phase was higher than in the first. So let's discuss the finding. First, our findings support largely the model of Sheffer and Moose, the personal growth model, and the evidence that women show lower self-mastery, or in other words, the evidence that lower self-mastery is related to higher level of personal growth can be explained by the notion that personal growth required vulnerability. So it might be possible that women who felt less controlled experienced higher level of vulnerability, which eventually contributed to their personal growth experience. As for cognitive appraisal, we saw that women who apprise the stressor during pregnancy as less threatening and more challenging experience higher level of personal growth. And we also thought about this evidence, and one main aspect in the personal growth process is that individuals who accept the challenges and the change during this process in a better manner, they can experience higher level of growth. So we think that women who apprise their stressor during pregnancy as less threatening and more challenging, it was for them much more easier to accept the challenging during pregnancy. And for the next result, we found that growth was higher in the second phase than in the first, which is in line with previous study that showed that the phenomenon of growth increases over time. But this might be probably the most interesting finding of this study. We have shown that women who conceive through IVF experience higher level of personal growth than those who conceive spontaneously. We can say again that more challenging circumstances can contribute to personal growth. However, we did not find any differences between the conception group in their perceived stress levels. And we also did not find any evidence that women did not differentiate in their personal growth experience in the second phase. So actually, if women who conceive through fertility treatment, specifically through IVF, experience higher level of growth, we try to think how to figure out this finding. So we're back to the theory. And we thought that women who conceive through IVF, their core beliefs were disrupted following the diagnosis of infertility, which means that the process of growth has started even before the pregnancy, which means that only women who conceive through IVF go through the process of growth and actually rebuild their core beliefs. Of course, this study has several limitations and implications. So this study was in Israel, and in Israel, the fertility treatments are sponsored by the insurance company, which probably may affect our results. We have found that women who go through challenged circumstances during pregnancy, such as fertility treatment, eventually can experience positive outcomes. We also found that the uprising of challenge during pregnancy can eventually have many benefits to the psychological experience of women. So it might be suggest to develop some focus intervention in this context. And lastly, the finding that women who conceive through IVF experience the highest level of personal growth might lead fertility specialists to perceive the fertility treatments in a better view. And this can manifest in their interactions with the patients, which in turn can lead to better mental health in these women and improve their well-being. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope that I enter you a little bit more to the world of fertility treatment in relation with personal growth. Thank you very much.